Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to boost your FPS, lower ping, and reduce micro stutters. If you guys don't know what micro stutters are, it's basically when your frame rate, your low frames are around 60 frames lower than your high frames. This causes unsmooth gameplay and is very blocky. This is very uncomfortable to play on. So what I'm gonna show you guys tips and tricks that you guys can do to your PC to improve the performance and optimize your CPU and GPU performance. I'm not going to be showing you guys any overclocking techniques. However, if you guys want to learn how to overclock your PC, I'll leave a link in the description down below. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. And we're going to go to update and security. We're going to check that we're at the latest version of Windows. It should say you're up to date. Even though it says you're up to date, you always want to click check for updates. If you do have any updates, install them. This is just going to make sure your PC is at the latest version. Once you've done that, you can then close out. The next thing we're going to do is go to the search bar and look up restore. We're going to basically create a restore point. So what a restore point is basically it backs up all your data on your PC in case of any issues with your hardware or software in your PC. The first thing we're going to do is click on our local disk or our hard drive or SSD. You're going to click on configure and change this to around anywhere between 5 and 8%. Once you've done that, you're going to click and make sure turn on system protection is checked. You're going to want to click apply. Okay. You're then going to click create. Type in anything you want your restore point to be called. I'm just going to name it Fortnite for the sake of the video. And then you want to click create. So once that's done, you can click close and you can X out. The next thing we're going to do is we want to go to settings. We're going to want to go to gaming and make sure the game bar is turned off unless you use it for recording. This will just help with this overlay. Basically is always running while you're playing any games on your PC. This can cause some micro stutters, and with it off it can increase frames. So the next thing we're going to do is go to graphic settings. Once you've opened that, you want to make sure it says classic app. Select that. You then want to go to browse, select this PC, local disk, program files, Epic Games, Fortnite Game, binaries, Win64. Then you want to select Fortnite client Win64 shipping, not BE, not EAC, or not launcher. Once you've selected that, you want to go to options and high performance. Then you want to click save. Once you've done that, all this does is basically optimize your PC for running Fortnite. Moving on to the next step. This varies if you have NVIDIA or AMD. In this case I have AMD. You're going to want to update any graphics drivers that you haven't already. I know this seems obvious, but a lot of people forget to do it, and this heavily decreases their frame rate. You want to right click on your desktop and go to NVIDIA control panel, or in this case AMD Radeon settings for me. Once you're here, you're going to want to click on this button over here, Radeon settings advisor. This is going to show you any recommendations for your system and any graphic drivers that haven't been updated. On NVIDIA, you would go to the NVIDIA control, you would go to your GeForce experience and check if your drivers are at the latest version. thing we're gonna do is we're gonna uninstall and reinstall Fortnite. If you guys don't know how to do that, you want to open Epic Games, go to library, click these three dots right here and go to uninstall. Right now the game for me is around 70 gigabytes, and if you don't uninstall and reinstall your game in a while, there's a lot of cache and extra memory that does not need to be stored on the game itself that could be causing your game to slow down and even increase ping. So uninstalling and reinstalling Fortnite is a very helpful but simple thing you can do. I try and uninstall and reinstall it every season. Once you've done that, you can then close out. So the next thing you can do is actually install MSI Afterburner. Basically this allows you to look at your performance while you're gaming and see anything but from core temperatures of your CPU to your GPU temperatures and how well they're running in game. Now, I would show you how to set all that up, but that would be a different video. You can also overclock very easy using this software. However, I would not recommend it if you don't have good cooling. Overclocking is 100% safe. Just the only thing you need to watch out for is make sure never set your power limit over 100. This is the only time it can harm your computer. If you overclock your CPU or GPU carefully, there will never be damage to your PC. So if you guys don't know how many logical processors or cores your CPU has, you can right click on the taskbar, go to Task Manager, click on Performance, CPU, and look at this number right here, logical processors and cores. So now for the next thing, we're actually going to change some Fortnite in-game settings. I'm going to launch Fortnite quickly and show you my performance now. Before all these updates I made, I was running around 160 frames in creative, 150 frames in creative. Let's see the frame rate we get now. Alright, so we're back in Fortnite, and what we're going to do, we're actually going to go to settings, and this all depends on your system. We want to set the quality to low and max out the resolution depending on your PC if you can handle the performance. Just tweak the 3D resolution and see how your game runs. If you're playing on a laptop or something like that, you would probably want to play on the lowest resolution, but it all depends on your PC. So I like to keep mine at 3D res 100%. Once you've done that, you can click apply. We're going to scroll down, have VSync off, motion blur is a preference, show FPS, DirectX version I have as 11, but for AMD users I find that it's very helpful to play on DirectX 12, just because I've seen differences in Nvidia graphics cards and AMD graphics cards. Nvidia typically runs better on DirectX 11, but that's all up to your PC specs. So allow multi-thread rendering, we want turned on, depending if you have more than 4 cores in your processor. And use GPU crash debugging, you want to turn off. All this does is if you experience a crash, it basically helps the developers track down like what's going on and when your game crashes. It basically reports when your game crashes, and then they're going to try and fix that. This doesn't really help and lowers performance. We want to go over to the settings tab, the game settings tab, and scroll all the way down to where it says Nvidia highlights. You can turn those off. Record replays off, record large team replays, and record creative mode replays all off. Basically the game is always recording a replay for you and lowers your performance and can even drop your frames a significant amount when it's turned on. However, if it's turned off, the game doesn't have to record any replays. Once you've done that, you can hit escape. Alright, so once you're in the lobby, we're gonna test out our frame right now. Alright, so as you guys can see, I'm getting around 180, close to 200 frames. And I started at around 140 to 160 frames. This is also, I'm recording right now, so I might lose around 20 frames. But yeah, that's it for the videos, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found something useful. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.